athletes, Chloe Jones, Jessica Howden, Lucy Michelle and Avalon Lewis. We then go into qualifying the TISO Super Pole sessions for Supersport 300 and Supersport, the Super Pole sessions for World WCR, and the second free practice session for World Superbike. Representatives that we have here in the fan zone: Chloe Jones, Jessica Howden and Lucy Michelle. And a nice round of applause for them as they come out. As I said, one rider we're still waiting for, but we're going to start anyway. And I think it's going to be Jessica that's going to have the honour of being our first female rider of the season on the stage. Jessica, thank you for being with us and taking time out before you go for lunch. Great to see you in the championship for your second season. Before we talk about 2025, just for the fans and people listening maybe on the app that are not sure about who you are or they don't know your history, just give us a little bit of background.
Hi everyone, I'm from South Africa.
Just keep it a little bit close.
Sorry.
No, there we go. And if we can just monitor again the mics here, just to make sure we get the sound. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm from South Africa, Johannesburg. This is my second year at the WCR. Yeah, hopefully it's a better year than last year.
And what did you do before coming into the championship? Hey, Avalon, thanks for being with us. Thank you.
Before the championship, I did the Women's European Championship. I did that for 2 years, and then we joined the World Championship.
Excellent stuff. Now, last year, as you said, you joined the series. It was a great championship. I'm sure you learned a lot. What have you learned from last year that you can take into this year?
For sure, I learned that it's better to always be more on the calm side. Then it's more easier with what you're doing and all of that. Because last year was a lot of pressure for the first year. So I feel from last year I have the experience for this year. Yeah,
of course. And one final question before we move on. Your first time riding here at Aston, I said it in commentary, it's such an iconic circuit. What was it like this morning to get out there and ride on a track that's just seen so many great racers riding, and now you're one of them?
For sure, for me, this is the most amazing track that I've seen in a very long time.
Good stuff. So you're looking forward to the rest of the weekend?
Thank you.
Good stuff. Jessica Howden from South Africa. Keep that applause going for Lucy Michelle. We were just talking in the backstage. What a great start to the season. Well inside the top 6. And again, you're back for a second season, so welcome back.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
I feel amazing. That was a good start in the morning. I feel better than last year, and I have more speed than last year. I'm training so much for sport, and yeah.
I wanted to ask you as well, similar to Jessica, obviously, from last year, the experience that you gained. What did you change over the winter? I mean, you talk about training, but what's different that you're now doing that you weren't doing before?
I train more. I don't know.
Oh, in the gym? You go to the gym more?
Yeah,
okay.
more gym work, and we learn more speed in the corners and later brake, and that is really important, I think.
Yeah, and of course you've been here before, albeit on a lesser capacity bike, on a Supersport 300 machine. How different was that this morning riding on the R7? Because they're obviously a lot bigger and a lot faster.
Yeah, it's a bigger bike, and that is more ride for this bike. That is really difficult on the fast corners to get the bike on left-right, and that was really difficult for me. And very windy today, that was also difficult.
And final question before we move on to Chloe. What's your expectation this afternoon? No pressure, you've started in the top 6. Can we see you maybe fighting for the podium this weekend?
Oh, I don't know, I hope so, and I give my best for that.
Excellent stuff. Good luck for this weekend and for the rest of the season. Ladies and gentlemen, Lucy Michelle. Move on now to one of 2 British riders racing this year, Chloe Jones. There's a lot of support for Chloe, and again, you're back. You didn't do the full season last year. You did, of course, do a wild card, and you made an instant impact in Jerez. So again, no pressure. But are we going to see a British flag on the podium this year?
I hope so. That's the aim. Obviously, doing the wild card last year, it was really good. I enjoyed it a lot, and obviously had 2.6 as well with the double long lap. So yeah, the double long lap wasn't the best, but you know, it's part of the experience, and yeah, I learned a lot that weekend.
Obviously, again, for the fans coming from British Championships into World WCR, is it what you expected?
Yeah. So like this year, the competition is so much more. Like Like the test, I know it's different because it's a test, but it was so competitive. And coming into this weekend as well, like not a lot of people know the track either. So it's yeah, it's quite good, and I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And again, you were just saying again in the backstage, we don't have the picture because we've only just seen it, but you had a bit of an eventful end to the session. Tell us about it.
Yeah, my visor fell off, but we don't talk about that. That's done now. But no, it's just learning the track and just having some fun because that's the main thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, looking ahead to qualifying this afternoon, obviously there's a couple of riders on the grid this year that have not experienced Superpole. What are you expecting this afternoon in Superpole?
Really, I just want to get a good grid position for tomorrow's race. If I can be on the front 3 rows, then I'll be happy. But yeah, I'll see how it goes. And around here, it's as you can see from the practice, it's just about who's going to get a good toe. It's fast everywhere, and yeah, it's going to be crucial for tomorrow's race. But I'll give it my best.
Excellent stuff. Looking forward to seeing you get the elbows out. Chloe Jones then for GR Motorsport, and I'm sure she'll be a contender, as I'm sure will this young lady, Avalon. And again, I don't have the picture loaded. We tried to load it, but I ran out of time. Not a stranger to the paddock show. You are a stranger well, for a lot of people in the World Championship, but I showed you yesterday a photograph from 9 years ago when you raced in the European Junior Cup. So I think I had hair back then, but Avalon, welcome back to the paddock. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. Thank you. It's great to be back here. It's obviously the other side of the world for myself, my family, my team. So really, really happy to be able to come back. And I should know better than to be late to the paddock show. Sorry.
I wasn't going to mention that. I wasn't going to throw you under the bus, but I was like, if she's 2 more minutes late, she's getting a fine. I mean, that's not a good way to start the season. But apology accepted.
Thank you. Thanks very much. And yeah, I'm super excited to be back. It's always fun being here in World Superbike. It's such a great balance of hectic, really competitive racing out on track, but a lot of fun with the fans in the pits as well. So it's just awesome to be back.
And a great start, obviously, similar to Chloe. She did a wild card last year, as we know, in Jerez. You did a wild card in Cremona. But what point during the weekend in Cremona were you like, I got to come back full time? I know I'm in New Zealand, it's completely the other side of the world, but you know that weekend was, I think, quite important for your career, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was definitely for me. Like I said, we come from the other side of the world to be here, so you want to make sure that that you have the ability to be competitive was the most important thing for me, that we had the bike, the equipment, the team there, and I feel that the way the World Championship is run for women is a very fair and even platform, so yeah, I really liked that. And to be fair, it was actually my husband Jake, when we walked out, he said, oh, that was heaps of fun, we should probably come back. So I thought, you know, with a baby, husband, it's a big effort to be here, and I thought it might be a bit much, but when he said, oh, I think we should come back, I had to agree.
Yeah, and of course, again, you know, for the fans that have been to Superbike for a long time, I do like a statistic, and quite an interesting one concerning you and your husband, Jake. Of course, Jake Lewis was European Junior Cup champion, you were Women's Junior Cup champion, and this year, both winning the New Zealand Championship. I think I'm right, I don't know what, Super Twins, I think is the right term.
Yeah.
Jake, of course, in Supersport. I believe, I have to check, but I think I'm right, the first husband and wife to win any two-wheel championship in the same year for the same manufacturer. I mean, that is one hell of a stat. So that's pretty cool. And Jake's here this weekend as well, isn't he? I saw him around as well. Is he on the spanners, or is he just on a holiday?
I think he thinks he's rider coach. He's very bossy, giving me a lot of tips. But no, he's just chipping in everywhere, super helpful, and yeah, much better for me this year. We've spent the last few years racing against each other in Supersport 600, and that's pretty stressful. So this year's a lot better. We're a bit more doing our own thing.
Final question before we let you ladies go and get lunch and get prepared for Superpole. Very quick, obviously earlier on today you were, I think, 4th in the end in that session. Thoughts for Superpole, thoughts for the weekend?
I'm nervous for Superpole. It's always hard because you've got to get that one lap in. You know, over a race you have a bit of time and use some strategy and things like that, whereas, yeah, Superpole you've got to get that one lap. Can't be under yellow flags. There's just so many factors at play. So I'm nervous, but really looking forward to it. And hey, I'm just going to go give it my best shot, and that's all we can do.
Absolutely, thank you, Avalon. And again, ladies and gents, give them a huge round of applause. And we're going to be seeing them throughout the weekend, to Avalon, to Chloe, to Lucy, and to Jessica. And again, if you are new to the championship, on a Saturday we have our Super Show. That's been changed a little bit for this year. Every single rider from every single racing category will be in the fan zone. It's going to be 90 minutes non-stop. We literally go straight through from one category to the other. That is going to be hectic from my side, but it's going to be a lot of fun for the fans and hopefully for the riders as well. So Avalon Lewis, Chloe Jones, Lucy Michelle and Jessica Howden, we're going to let you go and get ready for Super Bowl. Thank you for being with us. Ladies and gentlemen, our first 4 riders from World WCR on the Paddock Show here in Assen. Okay, we're going to change our